So I have a confession to make. This is not the first time that I actually put my papers. Last year around this time, I kind of put my paper and took the paper back shamelessly because I was so not sure about how much of it am able to pull it off. Hey everyone, hello, hi, I'm Ananya Shetty and welcome back to my channel to help you create the life that you want and to become the best version of yourself. So without any further ado, let's get started because today I have a major announcement to make, which is that I am officially unemployed. Well, majority of the cases it's such a sad news. However, I am somehow not being able to relate to sad and then being unemployed, and today's video is all about finding out how I got there. So if you're ready, let's get started. So if you all don't know, I have been a banker for a decade. The first 8 years for Vijaya Bank and then post-merger for Bank of Baroda. And this job happened to me by accident. So we had a campus recruitment that happened in my college. So my mother found out from somebody that, that college is going to come, because obviously I did not tell them. I had no intention of taking up job immediately after college. I wanted to study. So when she found out, and that it's a public sector undertaking, for Indian parents from a middle class background, it's like, how can you not even give it a shot? So that's how I gave it. And we had 3 from my class who got into the job, and I was one of them. So I was just out of college and I've joined my MCom because I was so sure even if I get this job, I wouldn't want to take it. I was just 20 and I was pursuing my college. However, in between 1 month to college, I got my results, I got my job, I got my offer letter, and I was asked to join. That's when my parents were like, I think you should consider, it's a bank job. People, relative, references, everybody gave this thing that to my parents, and it's a heads up, she shouldn't be not taking it. So I made my parents sit down and told them, listen, I'm just 20, so even if I don't like it and I change my mind, I'm just too young to not to change the job, and I can probably study, I can take up another job, I can go to a different place. I have multiple options. So everybody were very happy, they nodded their head. So 1 week into this job, I kind of realized that this isn't my cup of tea. I was behind the desk all the time, working, and I wasn't that kind of person. I'm an extremely creative person. I like hopping from places to place. That's how I used to be in college. And suddenly it felt like I was caged in a place and I no longer wanted, and I felt I didn't belong there. For the first initial months and later also. But by the time I communicated this to them 1 week to the bank, my parents was like, quitting bank job is a joke. This cannot happen. So we did have our share of differences. There are multiple times I tried to quit. They did not let me. Then life happened. I took up transfers to a couple of places. So it was a roller coaster ride from 2011 to afterwards, probably 15-16, and in the year 2016 I took promotion. So until 2016, I kind of gave multiple things shot along with my day job, and somehow nothing seemed to work in my favor. So 2016 I took up promotion. I went back to my hometown. So I kind of made peace with it. I still remember a day in my office when I was on my table. I have customers surrounded in the bank, and I had this thought in me that probably I don't have it anymore. Back in college, it was different. I was younger. Probably the fire is gone, and probably I need to make peace with it right now. So that was the state I was in. So later I got married, I had child, and then maternity leave happened. So this has been the turning point of my life. I took up a 10-month-long maternity leave, and this was the period I really had a lot of time all by myself to introspect, and I did. And that was the time I realized, I do not want to end up being like this until 60. I do not want to retire as a banker. And the thought of retiring as a banker in my 60s would just bother me all the time. So I would always write things down or plan things out. So that was the time I started exploring YouTube. I started exploring social media as a career option. So it was an eye-opener for me. Something like this also can happen. This is also a legit career. So going back to my college, I would always like addressing people, being an orator, being a master of the ceremony. So all of things I kind of enjoyed. I would always take up opportunities that came my way. So I thought probably being a soft skills trainer could be one of a career option. So immediately post maternity, when I was posted from Mangalore to Bangalore, that's the first thing that I did. Look for places where people train people to become soft skills trainer. And the first time I found an institute, I bumped into them. So when I was discovering the entire procedure of how to become a soft skills trainer, also bumped into image coaching, image consulting. So I took that up only thinking about, I needed help. I was just out of maternity, all the things, all the mess that I had been carrying all these years about myself. My confidence was absolutely low, though I wanted to do multiple things. I was desperate to get out of the job. I had zero confidence in me that I could pull it off. I probably thought I do not have it in me anymore. But still, the thought of, remaining in the bank job for the rest of my life would daunt me. I wouldn't want to go through this. So I genuinely thought, I was desperate to give something a shot to make sure that I could escape this loop. So when I took up image coaching, I kind of saw myself growing, evolving as a person, and more so externally, but what happened internally is amazing. I kind of evolved as a person. The confidence in me blossomed. I slowly became the person that I used to be back in college, and it gave me immense joy. And the best part is, people around me who knew me kind of saw the difference in me. Eventually, YouTubing happened, Instagram happened. So I had people asking me, what are you up to these days? You're no longer the Ananya that we knew. So I think that was good news. That's when I decided probably I should consider this seriously, and that's when image coaching happened. That's how Mirasam was born, and rest is history. I have a small little world, a baby of me, that I can call it my own, and we have enough students who have graduated from Mirasam, and that makes me truly, truly happy. All these things we can talk sometime later, but today, moving on, let me take you through what it was like for me to quit. As much as I wanted to quit badly, and people around me kind of knew, it was an open secret that I've always been meaning to quit. My friends even today make joke about, ever since we know you, you have been quitting. So until you actually are out, we wouldn't believe you're quitting. That's the kind of joke that happens around me. However, that's been a reality, so I think should make peace with it too. Some of you must be thinking, what's the fuss about quitting job? People do it all the time, in IT. But mind you, in IT, in a public sector undertaking, the place like a bank job, so you consider this a government job, and people generally don't quit. In the last 10 years, trust me when I say this, I've seen people moving because of transfer or retirement out of an organization or out of an office, but a resignation in last 10 years, this is my first experience that I'm witnessing a resignation, and it happens to be my own. That rare we get to come across resignation. So we had 3 months of notice period to serve when somebody quits, and the day I put down my paper, I kind of came back home, and I have just recorded myself. So I wouldn't want to say anything, just have a look. Hello, so today is 3rd of December 2021, and I am basically trying to shoot this. Not very sure if I'll ever put this out, but I really wanted to document this because today happens to be one of the real big day in my life. Not that something major happened, but finally, after real long years, probably a decade, I finally was able to make a huge career decision, and I'm so happy I did it. And please ignore the way I look right now, because I am just about to hit the bed. I'm just taken a hot shower and done my skincare. So it's all, the facial oil. So ignore all my skincare routine and the pimple that's popping out. So on that note, I finally put my papers down, and I can't tell you the kind of emotional rush that I went through, probably in the span of 1 or 2 hours straight, from the moment that I was like, this is the time I'm putting my papers down, to, oh my god, I just did it. So, the entire process is a lot of fun. When I was about to put the paper, it was a mixed feeling of, feeling the excitement and the nervousness and the uncertainty that comes along with it, all of it at the same time. And when I put my papers down and I hit that submit button, I had a rush of joy that I could feel, and I really don't know why I'm feeling this, and it was so unexpected. I thought I would be, really very emotional, because it's 10 years in banking. It's too much to let go of. Suddenly, I'll no longer be associated as a banker, which I'm not too sure if that's what I'll enjoy. I can't tell you, I was only smiling. There was a sudden thought that came to me. People always say, so you need to follow how you feel, how do you feel when you do a certain thing. So when I did that, And that's how I felt. I was like, I was convinced this is the right thing to do. So that's what I kept telling me myself, that this is the right thing to do. So for now, today on 3rd December 2021, this is how I'm feeling. So another 3 months to go, and then I'll be out of bank. So I really do not know the kind of feelings that I will go through for next 3 months. However, I'll keep you posted. And when I quit my job, the day I quit my job and came back home, this is how I felt. Have a look. I can't believe this. It has been a long day, but I think it's time to announce that I am officially unemployed. I can't believe I'm saying this. Today is officially my last day of the work, and I've come back. I had a super long day, a day which was flooded with so many emotions. Mostly, first half of my day I was just feeling really down and low, because as much as I wanted to quit the job, this is an organization I have spent for a decade of my life. It's 10 years, and 10 years is not too small. And I have seen myself grow as a person, the person that I am today. It wasn't the case 10 years back, and I was super vulnerable. I was scared, I was confused, I had no clue what I wanted, and here I am today taking the decision of just quitting it for whatever reasons I am doing right now. As much as I wanted this, I have to admit that I'm going to miss working for the organization that I did. Having said that, currently, if you ask me how do you feel, I really have no answer, because I feel point blank. However, I have to admit that it feels light, it feels a lot of freedom, it feels liberating, it feels good to know that tomorrow morning I really do not have to worry about rushing anywhere. I can just be. I have to admit, I had this thought of quitting for the longest time. In fact, first week of me taking the job 10 years back, ever since then. However, there was a constant fear at different stages of my life over the period of time, a couple of years till now, that how would I manage life without going for a job, be it finances, be it whatever reasons. But today, the way I'm currently feeling right now, I'm surprised. If I knew, had I knew that this is how I would be feeling, probably I would have taken this call much earlier, much, much earlier. I wouldn't have waited this long, because right now I'm really not worried about touchwood. I'm really not worried about what life holds for me. How will I manage finances, career, timeline, bills to be paid. I'm somehow not really worried about all of that. All I feel is liberated, free, easy, light. I feel excited about the tomorrow, and I'm genuinely looking forward to live every single moment and just breathe, be easy on me. Probably what made my day, the last day of my job, so memorable for me is the kind of love that came my way. I really didn't see this coming. It's quite overwhelming. I feel so much blessed. I'm going to miss the people that have been working. There's no doubt about it. I can't believe I'm not going to work tomorrow. At the same time, I am really looking forward and excited about what life holds for me. I am not straight away going to jump into work immediately. I am really going to relax and just be and allow myself to breathe and enjoy every moment, settle in, figure out. And I'm really giving myself more than a month to do this, because I genuinely think I totally deserve it. 10 years, I know a lot of people hustle, bustle, and do 100 things day in and day out. I feel you, but I genuinely feel I need this break now, because I'm not one of those people who have really taken a lot of breaks in life. So now I definitely deserve this. It took a truckload of courage, constant visit of self-doubt, uncertainty, indecision, all the time, for me to finally make a decision and then stick to it. It has been a journey of its own, and today I'm going to help you through. If you are one of those who is ever having this thought of, one day I would want to quit something and do something on my own, or do whatever that makes you happy, or if you're just curious to know, what would it it possibly take for somebody to quit a job like this? I am going to share some of the insights, so stay tuned. So here are 5 things that has helped me make this decision wisely. So the first one is create an emergency fund. It's always a good idea to keep your finance sorted. So when I say emergency fund, I'm not talking about big money, money to probably travel the world or buy that expensive car that you're eyeing on. No, I'm talking about the basic necessities: food on your table, electricity, rent, your Wi-Fi bill, your travel expenses, expenses that comes day in and day out, something that can help you sustain the existing lifestyle that you're living. That's good enough. So the minimum amount of emergency fund you should ideally have in your bank before you quit your day job is 6 months of your existing salary. So it kind of gives you a buffer for 6 months to whatever you want to give that a shot, and then take a beat, a job, beat working on business or doing your own thing, being volunteering, whatever it is on earth that you want to do. 6 months of salary is a good amount for you to fall back on. It gives you an immense amount of strength and confidence for you to take that job, stick to it, and do it with courage. Secondly, have a plan. So when I say have a plan, it not necessarily always mean taking up a better job or having $1 million business idea. The idea here is to not make your mind devil's workshop. The primary reason why everybody quits a job and do something else is because they want to be happy, and we need to understand the core purpose of why we did what we did and need to find a way to work it out. So it's very, very important for you to know what is that you're going to do. How are you going to spend your time and money and effort once you quit? And if there is a plan of action, if there is a certain goal that you have in mind, instead of just quitting and then figuring out where this goes, it's always a good idea for you to figure things out, try it, test it a couple of times, see if it fails, where it fails, how to fix it, all of the technicalities, and then put your papers down. So one of the things that I did meticulously, even when I so badly didn't want to go to a job, is this. I still, along with my day job, once I'm done with my day job, I would come home, I would work on it, I would hire people to do small little things for social media, and I would shoot my videos. I built my curriculum. I took a sabbatical for 6 months. I worked my ass off. In fact, absolutely sleepless nights, but I think it's totally worth it when I look back now. If you ask me to go back to do it, I would never do it, but then it was all worth it. So for the last 1.5 years, I kind of have created a baseline of business that I can kind of push along and kind of build it to get better moving forward. However, there is a relief that I am not starting everything from scratch. I do have something to work upon, so that's a good place to start. No matter how exhausting it can get, I think everybody need to take that. I'm not one of those people who is extremely good with taking risk, so I do not have that immunity for risk. I know a lot of people who can take risk with zero. Ideally not a good thing to do. You could fail sometimes or you could win, but why take that kind of risk? Yeah. Also, one of the things that I want to tell here, and it's a personal opinion, each to their own, that it's very important to be financially independent, both men and women. And I think when it's women, it's more important because that makes you feel so empowered. Being able to pay your own bills, having the power to take care of your expenses is such a good thing. That especially if a woman have been working for last few years and now suddenly the money isn't coming, is not a good place to be. So if you're on a verge of quitting job and want to do something, I would say find a way to figure out how to keep the boat going. Also choose what makes you happy and work on it much before you want to quit your job, because it's really important, gives you a heads up of where you're going. Thirdly, make sure it's your own decision. In today's world, people hype a lot about how things worked. Nobody talks about when and how things didn't work. So it's very, very easy for you to get carried away with the huge success stories. I'm not telling they are not possible. They cannot happen with you. Of course they can, but make sure that it's your own decision, because when you fall back on, you do not find people to blame it on. Blame game doesn't really help. At the end of the day, it is your life and you are the one who's going to live with it, no matter what are the consequences. Also, when you quit, nobody is going to promise you bed of roses. You need to be mentally prepared to whatever that comes along with quitting your job. You need to have the heart to take whatever comes your way and then mend yourself and go with the flow. So when it's your decision, it's easier to fix because you know you were responsible taking it. So you might as well. So if you can screw up, you can fix it too. So you now discover the power is on you. So you will get up as many times as you fall down and then try and fix things for yourself. Coming for the next point, which is ask for help. You know what, the decision is as big as quitting a job, especially when based on pure societal standards that it's a good job, the decision becomes much tougher because there's a lot of pressure externally and internally that you kind of pile up. So I have a confession to make. This is not the first time that I actually put my papers. Last year around this time, I kind of put my paper and took the paper back shamelessly because I was so not sure about how much of it am able to pull it off. I kept giving myself deadlines, 3 months, 4 months, another 6 months. And somehow I ended up working for the next 1 year because there was a constant fear, uncertainty, and doubt, self-doubt, and all of it kind of crept in and made me numb. That was a time I kind of realized that I really need to ask for help. So when I say asking for help, it's not going back to your best friend every single time and telling her, it really needs to come from multiple sources. And also one of the things that I would highly suggest, things to remember when you're going for ask for help is please do not go and ask for help from Tom, Dick and Harry. It's very important that you respect the person from whom you will get the advice. You need to have some adoration to the person. The person has to be resourceful in whatever places, be it experience in life or probably it really doesn't matter, even the person is young. If he or she is driven enough to do whatever it takes to make things happen for themselves, I think they're good people to go and talk to. I can't really tell you how many people in an online space I kind of approached, people in the space of image management, people in the space of social media, people in the space of YouTubing, people in the space of freelancing, bankers, who have been retired bankers, and so many people at different stages of their life, in different streams and careers of their life. I kind of spoke to them. So however, talking and taking advice is one thing, taking decision based on that is another thing. So no matter what people say, different people say different things, so it's on you for you to think what's best for you because you are your own best judge. Somebody keeps telling that to me all the time. Also, one of the things that you need to consider is the person that you're approaching to talk to, ask for help, need to understand where you're coming from, your value system, what is it you're looking for in life, what drives you. They need to understand. They need not be that person. They can have totally different understanding of life for themselves, but they need to kind of understand how important it is for you. So only when there is a connect, that's when you can go and talk. Otherwise it would be like, blowing candles in the air really doesn't help. So even after all this, if you still don't feel confident about quitting, which happened with me, so now it's a time for you to go get a professional help. And please do not hesitate. I do not know why, especially in a country like India, people hesitate to go. Either take a consultation, talk to a career counseling person or a life coach or a psychiatric, whatever helps. So just because you're going for help doesn't mean you're mad. It only means that you need some more clarity, and these people can do that job for you. I did take a couple of sessions, a month-long session with a life coach, just to make sure that I'm not doing a major mistake in my life. And thank God I did it, because the kind of clarity, ease, and a sense of peace when I was quitting, that only happened because of the life coaching sessions that I took. And at any point of time, be it any kind of decision, especially if it's quitting, I would highly insist that you take professional help if you feel the need. And my final point 5 is make a list. So if you have known me for a while, if you've been following, you know my obsession with making lists and ticking it off. Now I'm thoroughly obsessed. But mind you, just making lists doesn't solve the problem. You really need to start working on it. So if you're planning to quit 1 year by now, or 6 months down the line, you need to make a list of things that you need to do, accomplish before you quit, so that you are actually mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared to quit the job and take a ride, take your next innings of your life. And here's what my list looked like. Build a business and get started, a presence on social media, building a decent community online, creating an emergency fund, knowing what really makes me happy, understanding myself better, creating goals in every area of my life, and having a basic plan of action on where do I see myself probably in next 2 to 3 years. So whatever the plunge one has taken to quit a job, trust me, nothing is going to happen overnight. It's going to take consistent amount of time and effort over a period of time to even find out if this is going to work or not. And after doing all of this, there's no guarantee that you will see the light in the end of the tunnel. However, if this is what you want, take a leap of faith, follow your heart, because I believe that each one of us deserve to find out what it's like to give your dream career a shot. So currently this is what I want. I have no clue what is that I would possibly want 5 years down the line. Where do I see myself probably when I'm retiring? I have no idea, and I'm really open to opportunities and possibilities that life can possibly show. So this is an open communication out to the universe through this video that my dear universe, I am ready, bring it on. So on this note, we are done with the video, and this is one of those videos that's very, very close to my heart. I can't tell you how many times I have imagined shooting this, because all I remember ever since I joined is I wanted to quit, and here I am, dreams to come true, and my life is now an open book, you kind of know, and whatever happens after this, good, bad, ugly, you would know, because I would post it unapologetically. I'm so looking forward, and I'm actually certainly curious to know if quitting any of your jobs at any stage of your life has ever occurred to you. Comment in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. See you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.